where the actual live game is. All right, I wrote these questions last night. I had help from Kelvin, Donald, and Kieran earlier today just to give them a sanity check, and they are here for you. So let me get my face out of the way, and let's go ahead and start this game. All right, good luck, everybody. And here we go. All right, well done. What I decided to do here, I got a little bit sneaky. I brought up a wireless LAN controller last night, and then I did some screenshots of some of the help pages. So I thought I would combine the quiz aspect also with another option for those who are newer to the wireless LAN controller, just to share with you literally what some of those AP modes are: local, flex, connect, monitor, rogue detector, and sniffer and bridge. And as you study for your CCNA, wireless is a big part of it. You can take a look at some of these options and say what they do. For those of you who answered the question with Flex Connect, you are spot on. And without going into a further discussion about that, that's, you know, those modes would be important to be familiar with as far as what they do. Also, I have some wireless LAN controller labs, packet tracer labs, at thekeithbarker.com. You can download and do those for free. Also, if you're just jumping in and saying, where do I answer these questions? You'd go to kahoot.it on the internet and then put in the game pin. It's right down here at the bottom. Or if you can run the app on Android or iOS and then launch the app and put in the game code. And I'll leave that game code down at the bottom. All right, so we are off to a good start with 57 correct answers. Here is the next question. Good luck, everyone. And indeed, the answer is platinum, and that's for voice over IP traffic. It's intentional to get the best quality of you can, and it doesn't get any better than platinum on the wireless LAN controller. All right, here we go. Next question is this. So those are indeed the two required elements in order to get a new wireless network set up. You have to put in the profile and also the SSID, and that's it. And then you can configure authentication of things later, but you need those two pieces to get the ball rolling. All right, I had several requests. It looks like you want me to turn up the music louder. Just kidding. I'm going to bring it down just a hair, which I've just done, so it won't be quite as loud. But I'm going to leave there for the suspense value, and Kahoot music is kind of fun. All right, I'm going to take myself out of the picture here, and let's take a look at the next question, which is this one. All right, what type of encryption is used by default with WPA2 PSK? Now, what exactly is a PSK? PSK is a pre-shared key, and WPA2 is a type of authentication and data integrity for verifying that traffic is encrypted. So, yeah, I'll tell you what, things could change over time, but see right here where it says WPA2 and WPA3 encryption cipher, and it says CCMP 128 AES. Right there on that screen, it was showing it was AES. So great job for people doing some sleuthing. Also, DES is an older encryption standard, and also hashing, SHA and SHA-256. Those are used for data integrity, not for encryption. So great job. Here we go. At the top of the stack is Cheerful Ferret. No wonder Cheerful Ferret, so stinking cheerful. Also, if you are not doing well on these questions, this is a perfect opportunity to click on subscribe, because I have new videos. We do quizzes every Sunday and new Packet Tracer Labs every month, 2 or 3 of those, and several videos every single month to help reinforce and help you with whatever your main course of study is for CCNA. So if you want to never miss a broadcast, go ahead and click on subscribe. And here is our next question. We're about halfway through. I also want to give a shout out to Steve and others who are helping other people in the chats with what's the PIN and how do I log in, and I really appreciate the support for our brothers and sisters in this channel. All right, what's a valid reason for using a wireless LAN controller? It's to manage multiple lightweights, to manage multiple autonomous APs. Autonomous are called autonomous APs, the yellow answer, because they are not managed by a controller. That makes them autonomous. So great job for the 86 correct answers. And we are more than halfway through. Cheerful Ferret is still on top. Congratulations to everybody who's doing well. And here's your next question. Well done. The two formats for pre-shared keys indeed are the ASCII and hex. And EBCDIC is the, what is it? Something beginners symbolic instruction. I don't know. I used to use that back in the 80s, EBCDIC, and ANSI wasn't the correct answer. So ASCII and hex are the correct answers. Nicely done. And let's take a look at our next question, which is right here. Good luck, everybody. All right. I love guesses all over the board. This is great. So if this was, let me bring up the camera here. If this was a question about switching, which it kind of is, if we were doing trunk ether channel, we would have options of active and passive for the LACP, and for PAGP, we have options of desirable and auto. However, if we are trunking or doing ether channel to a wireless LAN controller, let me see, I've got one. Like this bad boy right here, to multiple ports, there's a couple of benefits of doing that. Number one, if we have an ether channel going to this, as long as we have one active port that's working and forwarding traffic, that gives us some fault tolerance. And if we have multiple that are working, that's additional throughput for the load. So all the traffic comes from our access points over the CAPWAP tunnel to this bad boy, who's then routing it out through the internet or through the corporate network using these ports. So where was I going with all that? Oh, yeah. So if we have a switch, like a catalyst switch that's connected to this, and we have an ether channel, we don't use Link Aggregation Control Protocol, and we don't use Port Aggregation Control Protocol or PAGP. What we do is just on the switch, it's on, which means we're not using LACP or PAGP. All right, that's a nifty little trick to be aware of. Set down that little 2504, which I used yesterday. I set it up yesterday in preparation for these quizzes, and then I realized that I had a really old version of software on it, so I spun up in EVE-NG a virtualized one, and that's where I got most of the screenshots for today as well. All right, let's continue to move forward. A good job to everybody who voted on for the link aggregation. Fantastic. And Mystery Puffin, we've had a lot of people with streak answers, meaning multiple correct answers in a row. My congratulations to everybody. And here's question number 8. All right, I'm proud of you. That's great. We want non-overlapping channels. We want overlapping coverage between APs, but if you have two APs and they're both on the same channel, these frequencies have to be sorted out. So you'd want to have, if in the 2.4 gigahertz range, you'd want to use channels that were not overlapping each other because you don't want to conflict with each other. So you want the APs to overlap to give the coverage, but you don't want the actual signals to overlap. A little bit of a thoughtful question there. You guys did great. And let's proceed. I think we have like maybe 1 or 2 more questions. Mystery Puffin is still on top. And here's your second to last question. Good luck, everyone. Oh, I can hear you guys now. Oh, well, they're all correct. Now on the actual, certification exam, I don't recall anything that felt like, oh, choose as many as apply that fit. They'll ask you for either a single answer correct or choose 2 or something to that effect. I just wanted to give this as an option here to do some training at the same time to help you realize that there are 4 types of well, there's IPv4 and IPv6, but 4 different classes or types of access control lists. And one of those, I mentioned this, in fact, let me talk about this for a moment. There is on a Cisco device, well, not every Cisco device, but many high-end routers, a logical interface for the router itself. It's called a control plane, the control plane logical interface or control plane host. And it's great because you could have 40 or 50 interfaces on a device. And if you want to protect the control plane from denial of service attacks, you could logically put access control lists on that control plane. So no matter where the attacks are coming from, the router's like, oh, that's too many. I'm not going to even process that and not get overwhelmed. We have the same thing on a wireless LAN controller. It's a CPU access control list. And that's one of the many valid types of access control lists that we can implement to help protect the wireless LAN controller itself. I think there's one more question. Let's go to it. Here it is. And good luck, everyone. All right, that is absolutely true. It's lightweight. If they were autonomous, if we configure the access points to be autonomous, that means they are not managed by a wireless LAN controller. And the lightweight ones are. Think of the lightweight like, hey, this access point is so lightweight, so unable to do its own work, it has to work with a controller. That's still one way I remember it today. What type of configuration, what kind of mode do you have to have if it has to be a lightweight as opposed to autonomous? Autonomous is like, I can do it all on my own, need no help from a controller. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I am going to play some closing music for about a minute, get a sip of water, and then if you're interested and you have a few questions, you can do an @KeithBarker in the comments, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. Also, right after this live stream, we're going to meet in the Discord server. The link is in the description of the video, and we'll be in the CCNA voice chat room. Everybody is welcome. It's all 100% free, and we have fantastic discussions. A lot of great people from various backgrounds and experience offering their insights. It's a lot of fun. It's a good community, and I appreciate everybody who participates there. Also, as far as previewing these questions for today, I also want to again thank Kelvin, Donald, and Kieran for spending some time before the actual live stream and doing some QC on the questions, just to make sure I didn't have a sleep-deprived typo or something else like that. All right, I'm going to put in some closing music, and then I'll be right back in just a few moments to take some live Q&A. Thanks, everybody, for playing.
What you're putting in, all your hopes and effort.
And let me show the full desktop here. The Mystery Puffin is the winner. So Mystery Puffin, if you want to direct message me, or any of the top three, if you want to direct message me or Kelvin or Trevor on Discord, and if you have any recommendations for a quiz for next week, every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, we have a quiz. If you give me recommendations and ideas, I will seriously consider them. And that's pretty much how we've done the last several weeks of content. Also, if you're interested in going back and reviewing these, I have a separate playlist for the Kahoot quizzes. So you can just go back before you get ready for your CCNA, and just to make sure that you understand the technology, it can answer those questions. All right, so let me see if there's any questions in the queue, and then we'll dismiss to Discord for any other follow-up. All right, Nicholas